I welcome you all on the session, National Education Day. I, Divya Saini, Senior Executive of Center of Innovation, Incubation, Entrepreneurship and Startup, DIT University, Dehradun. I welcome all the participants and the speakers to the session on National Education Day with a focus on new education policy. The session is being organized as per the guidelines of Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell.
So, that's the today which we are celebrating National Education Day. Every year we celebrate on 11th November and is being celebrated by Ministry of Education in India to make the first anniversary of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, and he was the first education minister and pioneer in the education system in the country, and he was also recipient of the Bharat Ratna. And it is my pleasure to share that we all know the IITs is the premium institutes in India, and not only in India and all over the world. And the first IIT of IIT Kharagpur was set up in 51, and his visionary and leadership and his support that IITs was established, and there is no end, that we are having various IITs after that. So he was the person who has the vision for having the high class education in the engineering in India. He was also part of setting up of UGC, and he was the Institute of Science, Bangalore. So what we see that today, the top level of organizations which are there in education has been set up in his period with his vision. Now when we are talking about the education, and if we don't talk about the new education policy, it will not be complete. So we all are aware that Ministry of Education has bring new education policy, have very long impact on all of us.
We all must celebrate the national education policy, and we must all try to get it implemented as fast as possible, because it has to be a public response. First of all, let us understand what is the basic objective of the education. Macaulay had created an education system long back with a very clear intention of creating large number of clerical staff for Britishers, because that was their requirement. We should have long back started initiatives for promoting entrepreneurship, but this is the right time. Anyway, whenever it is time, the new education policy has now embarked upon the journey of promoting innovation. My fundamental question to all these speakers is, what promotes innovation? If you ask students to pursue rote learning, if you ask a student to follow the structured method, if you ask the student not to do any innovation, not to do any experiments, how will it work? The student cannot become innovator. We understand it. And that is why the existing education system, which we are even following today, is preparing clerks, is preparing people who are well prepared to work on routine work. They are not willing to change, they are not willing to introduce innovation, they are not willing to take risk. Their mindset is fixed. They have to work in a structured program as per the directions given. We have to change it. We cannot prosper if we do not change it. Only those countries which promote entrepreneurship become prosperous countries. That should be very clear. We had, followed the Russian model, their structured planning, and we experimented with the planned economic platforms. We, nationalized all the private entrepreneurship. All the companies were private. The government had taken over all the companies. In between all these things, now this is the time there is a radical change, and this radical change has mainly 4 or 5 important aspects. One, we have to give liberty, freedom to the student to think, innovate, experiment. This is one thing. Second, what is the most important thing that is taking place is we are encouraging student to do something with his hands, right? He was not doing anything with his hands in the previous education system till now. Now we are again doing from class 6th onwards vocational education. The basic purpose is students should use their hands. If he will use his hands, he will be able to connect the new technology to applications. Third thing that we have done recently now is that we have allowed intermingling of education. The students of commerce, arts, science, all these things, bifurcations that we have done, we are combining all these things together and allowing student to learn multiple subjects as per his choice, so that the real creativity comes out, right?
This will definitely come.
Yes.
So with this, thank you very much, sir.
So on behalf of CIIES DIT University, we are wholeheartedly thankful to Professor Trilok Jain for sparing valuable time from his busy schedule and enlightening